Good morning. So, 3 things going on. Update on my homelessness, update on my garden, and update on my medical issue, which is athlete's foot that went crazy. So, I had toe fungus, and I didn't know when you're under stress and low immune system that it can turn into athlete's foot. And I didn't know athlete's foot could spread up your legs and on your hands and your face. So for 3 weeks now, I've been doing a regimented healthcare fix. So I got white vinegar, bleach for my laundry. So washing everything, soak it in bleach and water. And then I sit here in the morning and the evening and soap and water my legs, my arms, my face, and then rinse. I fill up all these buckets with water. Usually I do it the night before so it's not ice cold. Do you like my clothesline? It keeps blowing over. The rope's too stretchy. Anyhow, so then after I do all that, wash with soap and water, and then I soak my feet for 20 minutes with the water and vinegar solution. And then I go in and dry thoroughly. And then I apply the cream and repeat. So my toes were very, very sore for a long time. And because athlete's foot actually probably is the grossest ailment I've ever had, because your skin peels off. Let's go look at the garden. Look at asparagus. See, and I don't look too bad, but my face was looking pretty hilarious. Puffy rash. Shouldn't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch yourself. So thankfully I didn't get jock itch out of this, because apparently they're all related. Roundworm or ringworm, jock itch, and athlete's foot, all in the same family. So thankfully I'm on the mend. But it's worse than having poison ivy or poison oak, I would say, which I had once before. This is my little cherry tree I got on sale. Still alive, yay! Okay, so that's with the ailment. That's on the cure. Excellent. So more about my homelessness. Good news. The property manager contacted my son and our friend that has the apartment upstairs. Should I give you just a little backlog, whose people don't know? I've been renting a room off my son in the city ever since my divorce. Well, actually, I lived 2 years here on the land, and then I moved in there. I've been there like 4 years. And so this people in the basement started a fire, so we had to leave because of smoke and water damage. And then we weren't sure if they were going to do renovations. It was, it's a big corporation owned building right now. And so the good news is the property manager rented some shipping container. Well, it's not a shipping container, moving container. On his dime to move the rest of our big items out of the apartment, like our chest freezer and our stationary exercise bike, which is super heavy. This is garlic that I'm keeping the scapes on because I want to save the bulblets. There's just a small batch of them here, which I paid a lot of money for 1 pound of garlic. But I really wanted to grow this and see what it turns out like. Yeah. So, and these are leeks. Dill, gladiolas, Okay, so I'm jumping around on subjects. So yeah, so we put that stuff in storage, and then they said the renovations were going to be done July 1st. Well, we're at July, whatever, 5 or 6. Hey, you guys, get out of the garden. You're wrecking everything. Don't step on my flowers. Get out. Look, you got a whole field over there to chew on. You don't need to chew on in here. Just like velociraptors going through the long grass. So we keep going around, or I shouldn't say he, because they're in the city. I'm out here. Checking our mail. That's the mailbox are out on the street, so they can look at the house and see if anything's happening, and nothing's happening. So they had an engineer come in, and they have to replace floor joints in the apartment below ours. And so we're just, waiting. We're still looking for a place to rent a house, but it's really, really hard to be able to afford something and find something. Oh, look at those deer flies biting you. Don't like those deer flies. So let's look over here. These are my special garlics I stuck in this box. Look at this one. They look so cool. Escapes. Over here, got some not doing so well cantaloupes. It's too dry over here. Can't water. It's too far. Even though we had a lot of rain. Get squash, pumpkins, watermelon. And these ones aren't doing too bad. Sugar baby watermelons. And then last year, this is where I had the garlic, and there's still a bunch of garlic growing down in here that I missed. And then I just let the wildflowers grow in here. Look at these pretty things. I kind of just pull out the plants that I don't want. Well, I don't want the grass, but that's a never-ending task. And since I haven't been able to walk out here much until lately, everything's kind of getting unruly. Look at all these daisies are pretty, aren't they? And then the brown-eyed or black-eyed Susans, whatever you call them. All coming up. And these are like daisies, but they're little. And then there's more garlic growing down there that I grew last year. Strawberries here, still alive. And a bunch of strawberries over here, still alive. This grass is very powerful. You can go through very thick mulch. These are the strawberries I bought on half price, still alive. And onion I'm letting go to seed. And here's some more cantaloupe and some calendula plants beside it. And these I didn't plant from last year, gladiolas. So that's interesting that they survived the winter. And bean plant. And here needs to be degrassed. It's radishes and mosquitoes, deer flies, different types of radishes. Too much grass. There's another squash. Maybe we're having these heat waves, they'll like the weather better. There's a tomato plant. But look at these peas. Peas. Lots of peas. I gotta start picking them. Come Fun little pea. So sweet, yummy. Look at these peas. And these peas didn't cost me a thing because I saved them from last year. There's some bean plants. There's another tomato. There's one little flower on it. And over here, got some zucchini flowering. And I always leave milkweed plants everywhere. There's one. Those are milkweeds. There's a bunch there already going to flower. My apple tree's doing pretty good. These are not doing too good. There's peppers in here. That's another zucchini. These are supposed to be little mini cucumbers. I got celery in here. Over there's daikon or something, white radishes. More beans. Oh, this tomato plant's not looking too bad. And this looks like a bead. I don't know where that came from. And celery. And another onion plant going to seed. And then this bin is baby gladiolas that I saved the little bulblet thingies on the bottom of the bulbs of the gladiolas. So that's cool. And there's another onion. Beans. And the lettuce is going to seed. There's more gladiolas I stuck in here. And these start to smell so nice. They're so cool looking. Milkweed. So I'm healing from my fungus. Oh yeah, I've been eating garlic cloves every day. And oh yeah, let's go look over here. So I sold I used to have it in here, my hot water on demand. Sitting here, my shower curtain's still there. Sold it to my niece for the cottage because I don't want to use it because I got to have the generator running and the propane running, and it just seems like a really expensive shower when I can just sit in a chair and do a dunk bath. So I'm planting things along this wall here to shade it. And I thought this grape that I transplanted died, but look, I cut it right down to a stump and this has come out. All new foliage and nothing's shooting on it yet. There's a gladiola. And this is bergamot or bee balm that on my Hugo culture on the other side, I threw out wildflower seeds for a bunch of years, and this one clump grew up, and I transplanted a bit of it here. And that's a cosmos. And then over here I have my honeysuckle. So it's starting to get long. But I want to put a couple of T-bars in here and here with some lattice work and let that climb up it. And then it will shade this wall and feed the hummingbirds at the same time. And I gotta rebuild this whole solar array. And my son's trying to fix the one that broke. And one of them flew off into the wind and snapped these little prongs. Not a very good design for outdoors, but so he's going to try to hardwire it because you have to put them up in twos. So I'm down 2 panels. Alrighty then. Thanks for dropping by. Cheers. Have a great day.